Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Plan Commission meeting on Thursday, April 7th at 6 p.m. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Commissioner Graff. Commissioner Oliver.
Here.
Alderman Madden.
Here.
Commissioner Kazana. Commissioner Buckmaster. Commissioner Bartlett.
Here.
Common Council President Kubaki.
Kevin, here.
Senator Trevitowski.
Here.
That's a quorum.
Statement of public notice.
This meeting was posted and distributed to all news media requesting notification in accordance with the open meeting laws on Friday, April 1st.
Okay, need a motion to approve the minutes of the March 1st, 2022 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, public hearing, next item on the agenda. Public hearing for the conditional use grant in accordance with the Muskego zoning ordinance for the purpose of allowing a gas station use and auto service facility use as part of the development of Fleet Farm located at Racine Avenue and College Avenue, tax key number 2177.996. Stephen Lang. Come up to the microphone, and we've got your name and address here, so.
Yeah, okay. I'm just hearing about this just recently, so I have a lot of questions about infrastructure, how big this place is going to be, you know, a gas station, do we need 2 gas stations within a quarter mile of each other? Who's paying for all this infrastructure? Are you going to be doing road repair or road reconstruction, I should say? What is the whole, you know, what's all behind this that you need to have this at this location when there's industrial or commercial areas that have land available in the immediate area?
We can't respond back to you.
Those are my questions.
Okay.
Yeah, we can kind of talk about it
Right.
under discussion.
Right.
There's a lot of things going into this, you know, they want a gas station there. A lot of people are still on wells in this area. You know, what kind of studies are being done? Excuse me. Are we going to be informed of this? What's the timetable on this? Everything. You know, I mean, there's a lot going on here in an intersection where there's virtually nothing right now. I just, you know, I don't know where this is all going, and you know, are you going to be developing this whole intersection now, or is this the beginning of a whole hub in this Racine and College or Racine and I-43? What's the whole deal with all this? You know, I mean, I know there's a lot of vacant land there, but Muskego prides itself on being a rural community, and I think you're kind of taking that away.
Okay.
I mean, I know you can. I didn't know if you're going to be able to go back and forth, you can answer questions. But I mean, those are just the things at the top of my head, and I'm probably forgetting a lot. But you know, I mean, how are we going to be informed of all this? And what if somebody has objections? What are our options, or do we have options? Is this a done deal? Are we just going through the motions here, or you know? What's going on with this? So,
Thank you.
Did I forget anything?
Okay. Jim Nichols.
I think it's a great idea. If you look at the map, it kind of shows you what's there. It's not like there's a ton of land for a ton of development. I think a bigger concern is the quarry across the street and the damage that's caused to the road. If you're a motorcycle rider and you want to turn, you're heading north on Racine, you want to turn onto College, you're going to wipe out in all the stones and rocks. And I mean, you know, there's a bigger concern to me about that quarry and road condition because of that. Having another gas station across from BP, I don't see what the problem would be with that. What's the land going to be used for conversely if it's not for this facility that would be an awesome benefit, I think, to Muskego, to the city. We don't have a big box store like this. To me, obviously people don't want it in their backyard and they're going to complain about it. But I think it would be a great benefit to the city. And that's it.
Great, thank you. Would anyone else like to speak on the subject? Anyone else? Okay, third time.
If you have a question, you can make that question as part of a comment. And like I said, when we do the discussion, we can try to hit on any of those that we have answers to.
My name's Tony Conley. I live on Topaz Drive.
What's your exact address, please?
W186S6401, Topaz Drive.
Thank you.
My question is, with this being built, and it's all about the roads here, we have trying to cross College right now, or cross from College onto Racine is tough enough as it is. Put in a big box there. There'll be a lot of traffic, especially with the gas station. They'll be pulling in even more traffic. Are there road plans in this whole deal? I know that there's another development going to happen down between College and Martin. That's a lot of infrastructure that needs to be done. Are there plans to put stoplights in, do something for traffic before we start having accidents and deaths because of, you got a motorcycle comes through there and somebody's pulling out of the gas station, not looking, trying to get through before the first car, they're going to have somebody hit. And my concerns are more the infrastructure that's going to be done with this project. Is that part of it or is it not part of it? And it's just the planning. I've seen things done before. The planning wasn't done for the infrastructure, and then they tried doing it afterwards, and that it's just a mess. So
Thank you.
that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Anyone else? I declare this public hearing closed. Okay, next item of business, consent business. Resolution PC 02602, approval of a two-lot certified survey map for David and Wendy Henneberry located at South 93 West 19721 Henneberry Drive, tax key number 2239.996. Resolution PC 027-2022, approval of a temporary garden center for Andrew Werner of AW Greenhouses located at South 74 West 17009 Janesville Road, tax key number 2199.999.02. We can either approve these in gross or individually. It's up to you to make a motion.
Move to approve in growth.
I will second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Old business. Resolution PC 0562021, approval and annual review for Fry Auto located at South 106 West 16301 Loomis Road, tax key number 2293.996.002. Adam?
This is still in the court litigation right now. Per the court, they have, I think, till June to get some stuff done. They're waiting on a wetland delineation right now, which can't be done due to weather. So basically, we're still in the court process, and once we have an update from there, we'll bring it back here.
Good, sounds good. New business, resolution PC 025-2022, approval of conditional use grant for Fleet Farm located at College Avenue and Racine Avenue, tax key number 2177.996. Just to clarify some of the comments, this is a singular development. There is no other plan for any other development in the area. I certainly understand the situation with the trucks going in and out. Don't wash your car and go through there because it's going to get messed up anyway. Both Racine Avenue and College Avenue are county roads. Fleet Farm has applied through the county for, don't know what the terminology is.
I think their access permits is really what starts it all, but yeah, through the county for access.
And they'll determine whether or not any arterial lights are needed there, any safety measures, what kind of lane situation is going to be there, because obviously it is going to spawn some traffic. So that clarifies a few other things. Adam, you.
Yeah, I think we should probably have a motion to bring it to the floor, and then I can kind of go through some of the items.
Move to approve.
I will second.
And discussion. Go ahead, Adam.
Thank you. All right. So yeah, I'm going to kind of I'll go over some of the questions first, and then I'll kind of hit on, you covered most of them, Kevin, so thank you. As far as infrastructure and stuff goes, so there is no city funding, city resources on this project. This is a 100% developer-driven project. The developer selected this site on their own. This wasn't a site where the city said, hey, Fleet Farm, you have to come here. The developers on their own, unbeknownst to us, are looking at facility locations for new buildings, and this is a site that they thought was good for them. At that point, then, their development team reaches out to the city and says, okay, here's what we're looking at doing there. Does the zoning allow it? Does the land use plan allow it? And the first thing to note is the existing zoning that has been there for at least 10 or 15 years, maybe longer. The zoning does already allow this. The zoning that's there allows this by right, meaning it doesn't need a hearing. The only reason the hearing is happening tonight is specifically for the gas station use and the auto repair use, because those two uses in the code do need a conditional use grant public hearing. The store itself was approved at our last plan commission meeting. Because it's not a rezoning and because it doesn't need a conditional use grant, we have to follow the statutory requirements in the ordinance for notification. That's why the notification is for this portion of it, but not the previous notification. Now, that brings up a question with applicants or neighbors sometimes. How do we get notified of things? Go to the city's website, sign up to be notified of our plan commission and common council agendas. That's how most of the public finds out about any kind of project. We post them on our website. The agenda's there ahead of time, and you are directly notified of any kind of new plan commission resolutions. So, like I said, the main part of the building, the actual idea of the architecture, the size, the design, the site layout, the hours of operation, all of those things have been approved by the Plan Commission at our last meeting. As far as, like I said, infrastructure to us means a couple things. It means sewer and water. The municipal sewer is already servicing the site, and they're going to tie into that. And then as far as water goes, the original hope was that they could be on city water, but after looking at the pressures that they require for their size building, the city's water system, and the distance the water has to come, it isn't practical for the developer or the city to have municipal water here, so they will be on a private well with reservoirs and pumping stations, so they'll have to meet all of the safety requirements that are met for any kind of fire protection on this site. As far as the roads go, as Kevin mentioned, being that these are both county highways, the city has no jurisdiction over what happens to those roads, but the county has 100% full jurisdiction over it. In Waukesha County takes usually, I think it was 3 to 4 weeks is what we were advised. So the development team had to do a traffic impact analysis that analyzes not only existing traffic, but also in expected increased traffic, and their standards that these companies that do these are specialized companies, have to follow. It wasn't like Fleet Farm did the study. They had a third party that's allowed to do so and qualified to do so to do the study. They then submitted that to the county, and right now the county is reviewing that. It's not a question of can they access these roads. They're allowed to by right legally to access these roads. The question the county has to look at is, do we need accel or decel lanes? Do we need more lanes? What has to happen at that intersection? These are all things that the county is going to decide. And so that's something that, regardless of our decision, completely unrelated is the county's jurisdictions over the roads. If they were city roads, it'd be a very different story, but neither of them are. So that's not something we can base our decision off of. But the county will treat this the same. They have manuals and standards as how they do these things. They will treat this the same as any other development this size that's out there when they analyze what's existing for traffic and what's proposed. At the meeting that was last month, the traffic impact analysis, one item that was brought to our attention from that is that they're expecting this use to increase traffic, I think approximately 10%. So whatever the traffic is now today, I think they were saying 5 to 10%, so let's just say the high end, up to 10% more traffic would be generated from this use. And that's based upon standards that are out there in the industry for planning for these types of uses. As far as timetable goes, I think they want to start construction as soon as possible. Just any user does. Very few users spend, this amount of time in planning to not want to start construction when they're allowed to. Last we heard, they would be hoping, if all goes well, to be approved be opening sometime in spring of next year. As far as whole area being developed, as Kevin mentioned, this is really the only large development potential the city of Muskego has. This has always been a property that's always been in our plans as a commercial site. We never knew what would go there because we don't get to pick. People have to propose something. We don't get to pick, you can go and you can't. And this has always been in our planning books and planning documents as a commercial property, hence why the zoning was already set up for it. We don't really have any other developable land. The school lands to the south, it's a funeral home next to that, storage next to that. There's not a lot of developable land. There's only one lot which may or may never develop on the northwest corner of College and Tans Drive, which currently is like a house and a farm now. And as long as those owners choose to keep it that way, they can. The bigger development potential could be in New Berlin. Across the street, I know the person that owns a lot to the north has been marketing it for sale forever. What we've heard from New Berlin is that they plan on eventually having that quarry developed into something someday. That's New Berlin though, so we have no control over that. As far as, let's see what else we got here. Thomas Roads. Like I said, the stuff with the intersection we looked at is being looked at by the county as part of that traffic impact analysis. We don't know if they're going to require stoplights or anything like that yet, and that's something the county will have to cover. I think that covered most of the questions. As far as the discussion tonight is really specifically focusing, like we said, on the gas station use and the auto sales use. Since this use was allowed by right, that's why the Plan Commission reviewed it last meeting. All of the architecture details were approved at the last meeting. Hours of operation were approved at last meeting. Right now, it's really just a matter of the gas station. Now, I know some people mentioned there's a gas station across the street. That has no impact. Number one, it's New Berlin, which that doesn't change anything in our ordinance. Even if it was Muskego, it still doesn't change. There are certain items that are allowed by right, and just because there is competition around doesn't give us reason to deny it. Especially if it's outside of our community bounds, as we don't have jurisdiction there. As far as stormwater goes, that's a question I know that came up that kind of relates also to these two proposed features tonight, the car wash and auto repair. MMSD, which is Metro Milwaukee Sewage District, which we are part of, they will have to follow all of their stormwater requirements as well as all of the DNR requirements. That also includes any kind of catchment systems. I know there were some questions about, what if there's like oil leaks or something in the auto service or something from the car wash. All those are contained in all the DNR required mechanisms. I know they have special traps and stuff that are required, and they'll have to meet all of the state, city, and if there's any county requirements for safety when it comes to haul, all of those catchment systems are handled. So that's one thing that we'll have to make sure are done. That's part of the building permit process. As part of as part of the gas station, there's a car wash. Car wash hours per the Plan Commission were limited from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., which is identical to all other car washes that have been approved in the last handful of years in the city. And the store will be closed even prior to that at night. So as was mentioned, the Plan Commission, you guys approved the full site details. And really tonight, the discussion is any questions, concerns you have about the specific auto sales or the gas station on site.
Okay, other discussion? Jeremy, Jeremy.
Okay. I share the residents' concern. I think I mentioned that too. I live on College Avenue. That intersection is already rough. It's hard every day to even get out and going. So the biggest thing is like Adam said, the county regulates this. And what I've found, I'm an architect, I work with the developers, and we have to go through this process all the time. The county's pretty tough on everyone on a development standpoint for egress and getting out on county roads. They're very accessible too. So all of us as residents really can call the traffic and engineering department at the county and express our concerns. So
I've called numerous times about all the gravel. I mean, I could blindfold any one of you folks and tell you I'm driving down Racine Avenue.
Yeah,
you tell me right where it is.
I agree.
I've called Waukesha County, I don't know how many times about how dangerous it is for one. And then, as the speaker said, if I wash my car, I can't go that way. I gotta go down Moreland and get on the freeway.
Yeah, I agree. It's a frustration for every one of us.
To me, and they're not listening to that.
Yeah, and if you're not getting results that you think you should from the Department of Public Works, who would normally deal with that, go to your county supervisor. That's literally who's here to represent you at the county level. They're the bosses, you could argue, of the public works staff at the county, which are the ones that probably should be in tune to or making them do more for cleanup out there if there's issues.
And the cleanup is separate, you know, from the engineering department that would be approving like the access and, you know, if stoplights or deceleration lanes or whatever would be required here. Like I said, they're very available. I mean, if you guys want, I mean, public here right now, just phone number wise, their number's 262-548-7749. So 262-548-7749.
Thanks, Jeremy. Mark?
And there was a mention of the size of this building compared to some of the other buildings. I believe this building's a little smaller than normal.
Yeah, this building, I just pulled up the plans here, about 137,000 square feet for the main building. That is smaller than most of the Fleet Farm stores. One of the things that was talked about last month is they're kind of, now that Fleet Farm has more centralized distribution, they're a lot more efficient with smaller footprint stores. So you're going to notice that as they build more stores anywhere, there may be more smaller stores. So this is definitely on the small side for a Fleet Farm.
Yes, sir?
Is this plan available to us to see?
Everything's available on the city's website. You just want to go to the Plan Commission agendas, and then everything that you're seeing on the screens here. If you look at the one from last meeting, there'll be a lot more, as that was the full-blown architectural approval. But it's also available in our office at any time.
Any other comments relating to the CUG?
Good.
Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion passes. Any other business?
Nothing.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Okay.